Do you like drinking water? Do you think it's something that everybody should have? I don't know. Guys, the UK water supply is absolutely critical. I'm calling it now, and it's about to fail, and I'm going to explain why. If you've not done so already, guys, can you please give us a like and a follow? It really helps us when you guys do that with the algorithm, and it tells us what country you're from, so we can do videos more specific to yourselves. Excuse me. So, the UK water supply. Months and months and months ago, I said about this Thames Water thing, I said, this is a canary in the coal mine. This is a litmus test. I said, what's happening in Thames Water? I believe it's happening to every water company around the country. I said, I bet my last penny on it that these guys are all operating a similar business model. So, let's understand why we've got to a system where the UK water companies are failing. And let me just quickly add that it's recently come out that East Sussex have 31,000 properties that are without water at the moment. They've been without water for 3 days, and we don't know when they're going to get water back. So I'll come on to that article and how that's happened, and I'll explain what's happening with the water companies at the moment. So currently in the UK, the UK government years ago decided to sell off assets such as, critical infrastructure and give them to private companies because private companies predominantly can operate better than the government. However, if you don't give people a choice, they won't operate better because it's that choice, that ability to be able to choose from one vendor or another makes the bad vendors vanish, go out of business, kaput, they're gone. And the good vendors, them that are giving a good supply, giving a good product, giving a good service, those are the companies that, progress. So the problem with the water supply in the UK, you can't choose your water provider. It just doesn't happen. It's impossible. You've got like copper pipes coming into your house. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how that can be restructured. So when the government decided to sell these critical infrastructure assets, the water predominantly, I'll talk about Thames Water. So I think it's the Chinese who own Thames Water. So the Chinese now own and operate Thames Water, or the majority share. Now, these investors, they're taking, they're giving dividends or bonuses, whatever, to their shareholders, to the people who've invested for that investment, and they give that to them every year. Now, the problem is none of that money is being reinvested back into the system. And why would it be reinvested back in the system? So when you sat there or laid on your phone, think about this question. If you've invested in a company or a product or a service, and you're getting your money every month or every year, however it works out, and somebody says, hey, I don't know, John, Mick, Fred, whatever, can you put some of your profits back into the company? And then they say, oh, well, why should I do that? And they say, well, we really need to renovate these pipes, these pumps, this infrastructure, this this system needs reworking. And then he'll say, oh, so you want more money off me? And I'll say, yeah. They'll say, well, what do I get back from it? Do I get any more customers? No, you get the same amount of customers. Will they pay more? No, they won't pay more. You'll get exactly the same amount of money. Guess what they're going to say? They're going to say, no, you're not investing. I'm not putting my money back into the company because I'm not going to get any return. And that's just the way that it's set up. Now, I did a live stream last night and I talk about how I think the NHS should be privatised. Now, with the NHS, you can have choice. For example, you can go to Hospital A or Hospital B and you can decide to give them money. With the water, and by doing so, you will choose the better hospital for yourself. Tell me now, just think about this as a question. If your child is poorly, are you going to go to the worst hospital to give them care, or are you going to go to the best hospital that you can to give them care? And it's fine, some people may choose to go to the worst hospital, and that's fine. But the reality is most people will choose to go to the better hospital that gives them a better service, that gives them a better product, that has better staff retention, that has a more efficient system of work. And those hospitals will probably be taking less profit. It's fine, if you want to go to the hospital that's making the most profit and giving the least service. That's why privatising the NHS will work, but privatising companies such as, services such as the water supply, they just won't work because you only have one supplier and you can't choose. So these things need to be renationalised. Now, the reason I always say about the water, I've been in a situation myself where I was really, really thirsty. Now, I don't think words are doing it justice. So I used to be a security manager for a large NGO, and we was operating in Syria. So for those of you, if you want to look on a map, there's this northern border between Syria and Turkey. We used to go over the border, but then they closed the border crossing point, so then we had to come in through Erbil in Iraq. Anyway, I think it was like 2017 or something. I was moving across there. It might have been a bit later, actually. I think 2019. I think 2019 sounds right. Anyway, it doesn't really matter when. But there was incidents, there was security incidents. I had a load of humanitarian aid I was bringing in for the people of Membeach. And we couldn't go any further because there was, I didn't see it, there was a threat. So we pulled up, we spoke to another NGO. We said, hey, you know what, guys, have you got accommodation for X amount of people? They're like, yeah, come in. Anyway, I got put into this house. I had a 2-litre bottle of water and I was there for 2 days. Guys, I can't tell you. And I know what people are saying. Oh, you can go 3 days without water before you die and X, Y, and Z. And I don't drink that much water a day. When you've only got 2 litres of water and you drink that in the first day and you don't know when you're getting your next water supply and you're laid there and you are thirsty as I don't even know what. Strange things happen to you psychologically. You start really, really worrying and getting terrified. Now, put yourselves in the situation. There's 31,000 people now in East Sussex that are without water. How long can that be? How long can they be given bottled water sustainably? Okay. What if another county? What if they're struggling for water? What if another system goes down? What if your child is saying, Mummy, Daddy, I'm thirsty, I want something to drink, and you can't give them water? Guys, the water supply in the UK is absolutely critical. Now, the other reasons for the water supply, it's kind of a cauldron of not failure, some failures and some just happenstances. So the population in the UK is growing exponentially. Now, you can argue why that is, that's for another video. But the reality is there's a lot more people in the UK now than there were 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years ago when a lot of this water infrastructure was built. So all these people, they drink. All these people, they make wastewater. All these people need to be hooked onto a water supply somewhere. When these new housing developments, new blocks of flats, new whatever, homes are being built, they don't have to reinvest, they don't reinvest or invest or look at anything to do with the water supply. They just say to the water company, hey, can we plug into your system? And the water company say, yeah, of course you can. That's more taxpayers. That's more people to pay. So you have more and more people now plugging into this water supply and no more reinvestment. Tell me, does anybody actually know of any new reservoirs that are being built? Any new water storage infrastructure, that's being built? We live on an island. We shouldn't be running out of water, We should have desalination plants everywhere, but we just don't. The reality is we don't. Our water supply, it's probably the worst managed thing apart from the NHS. But the problem with the water supply is it doesn't need to be like that because, we can do some, well, I suppose we can do something about the NHS, but what I'm saying with the water supply is it's easily fixable. We can get it back up and running really easy. All we need to do is renationalise it. And that's the short answer. So when we're looking and we're moving forwards and we're looking at, more people coming to the country, more housing estates being built, more people draining off, and it is literally draining off the current system. It just doesn't end well. And I said long ago, look at Thames Water. That's going to be the canary in the canary in the coal mine. We don't have enough bottled water to keep pushing things forwards and to keep giving people bottled water. I mean, 31,000 people, 3 litres of water a day per person. Sorry, I'm mistaken. 31,000 properties. So that number's probably times 4 at least. So 31,000 times 4 times 3 litres a day per person. That is a lot of bottled water, and that is not sustainable. Now, let's move forwards a little bit and let's speculate, just for argument's sake. Say that we are in this year, this month, we're in an asymmetric war with Russia, with China, with Iran. Who knows what's going to happen? Do you think they're going to target our water supply? Knowing already if I know this, guys, everybody knows this, do you think that our enemies are going to target our water supply? How long is it going to take? How many people needing bottled water is it going to take before the system collapses? And go back to what I just said. Imagine your child is thirsty. Imagine, you need water to survive. You don't have water. How desperate are people going to get when they're not getting their water? And guys, it's just an absolute hotbed, and it's already happening now. Right now, we've got Thames Water that's failed. We've got East Sussex that's without, 31,000 homes are without water. So this is failing in real time, and we can see it. All you need to do is, I'll put the links to this in the, description down below. So already you can see these things, they're not up to standard and they're failing. And I'm so confident that this is happening now to every water company around the country that if another water company failed right now, they wouldn't be able to get bottled water, because where would they get it from? I can guarantee there isn't that much bottled water in storage somewhere that somebody can just give them. It's not feasible. When I was in the military, we used to have our own, what they call boreholes in Afghanistan, and I think in Iraq as well, certainly in Camp Bastion. They had their own borehole, so they could pull water straight from the, they could get their own water. We don't have that in the UK. We're so reliant on the grid, on the national grid, and not national, on the grid that's a private company that's for profit. These things shouldn't be profit. Unless you have a choice, these things should be nationalised, because it's not the privatisation that makes things better. It's the choice. It's the ability for people to choose with their money to go to supplier A or supplier B who's providing a better product. So going slightly off topic here, guys, and slightly off tangent, a good, look at mobile phones. The development of mobile phones and the increase in innovation on mobile phones is phenomenal. Nothing else has gone like that, because people choose with their wallets. People don't buy rubbish mobile phones. They buy, good ones. So there's an incentive there for people to innovate, for people to try new things, for people to push, get better staff, get better people, get better products, get better components. With these water companies, there's no incentive for them to give a better service. They just take and don't reinvest. That is the reality of the situation. Privatization doesn't work without choice. And that, there's no other way forward to that. People need to have that ability to be able to choose with their money, with their pound coins, who they go to. And without that, the water companies are just going to get worse. And I'm really worried that as we are now, by the end of the year, if another water company fails, has a mass burst pipe or something, another catastrophe like this, they just won't be able to get any bottled water off the off the government, and it's just going to be a national disaster, and it's just going to escalate, and we're just going to be without water. And don't forget, guys, all right, enemy nations are planning attacks on our water system. That is an absolute inevitability. They'll be planning attacks on all sorts of stuff. And our water system is so fragile, as you can see from the links below, guys. All right. So, as an ending thought, make sure you and your family have got at least 3 days water supply. It makes no sense for you not to get it now while the water's cheap in the shops and it's readily available. So please go and get yourself some water supply, and like and follow, guys, and I will keep you updated. I'll give you another video later today, and we'll be posting our live stream.